So in honor of Jupiter's birthday, I'm gonna do a Socializing Jupiter video. He's 2 years old today. He seems a big and happy kitty now. Definitely not feral anymore. We found him the same place that we found Starling, underneath that rock. We actually found Jupiter a year before, not quite a year. Oh yeah, okay, a year. A year before we found Starling. We lived in an apartment complex at the time, and there were a lot of feral cats running around. Oh, did you hear me? Oh, what was that? And we saw this tiny little black cat. Well, I thought he was black. You can see he's black now, but when he was tiny, he wasn't. I'll see if I have some old footage to show you guys. It's crazy. He looks like a whole different cat. I don't know how he looks like this now. So we saw this little kitten hiding underneath some rocks by a drainage pipe by the pond at the apartment complex. And he looked sick. You could tell in his eyes. And he was just obviously malnourished. He had the bloated belly going on and everything. And I had never socialized a feral cat before. I had one run-in with a feral cat before I knew what feral was. Oh, where are you going? And we had laid out cat treats to lure him into an old apartment that I had. I didn't know. I just thought like cats were cats, and they were all kind and furry and cuddly. And we got this one into the apartment, and then it went super crazy. So that was my first realizing what feral cats were. And so we're going to figure out where Jupiter wants to film next, and we're going to continue this in a second. So as you can see, I definitely feed him. I don't usually give him wet food because I feel that he is overweight, but it's his birthday and food is his favorite thing. That's why he gets a special treat today. Alright, so back to what we were saying, now that we found a new filming location for our little buddy here. I never socialized a feral cat. Saw him underneath those rocks. And he just looked terrible, and I love cats. We already had Melody at the time, and my biggest concern was that it was going to be harmful for her. That if he had something, she would catch it. She would be unhappy that there's a new cat. And I wouldn't recommend that just anybody decide, hey, I'm going to socialize a feral cat. I have some training in behavior, albeit human behavior, but there's some basic principles that I utilize to socialize the cats that I learned in my training. But yeah, it's not for everybody. Don't watch these videos and then think, hey, I'm going to go social. No, please don't do that. So we saw him underneath those rocks, and we had to go on a trip back home, which was like 12 hours away at the time. And I was just having dreams while we were there, like this little tiny cat needs me. And when we went back, we had started leaving some wet food for him, so to try to help him not starve. And that's actually how we ended up capturing him. We tricked him, we put out the wet food, It was actually Rennie's idea. And when he came out to get it, I snatched him by the nape of his neck. And he made the scariest noise that I've ever heard a cat make until I met Sterling. It was out of this world, not something that you hear from a domestic cat. I can't imagine. If you hear this noise from a domestic cat, you're doing something terribly, terribly wrong. Want to say hi? Want to say hi? Or do you want to keep eating? Want to say hi? So he makes this noise. And in that moment, I'm thinking, is this cat a demon that I just picked up? Have I just made the worst mistake ever? Should I set it back down? What's going on? But we ended up taking him, and we took him to the emergency vet, who thought we were crazy, and again, thought we were crazy when we had Sterling. They didn't recognize us a year later. I think we might have had different people see us at the emergency vet, which they should. They should think that you're crazy. If you bring in a feral cat to get treatment and say, yeah, I'm taking it home. If I worked there, I'd be like, excuse me, do you understand what you're saying? This cat is a feral. It's not going to be nice. So we took him, and they told us he had an upper respiratory infection, and he was malnourished, and we got some medicine for him. And we did pretty much the same thing that we did for Sterling. Are we picking a new filming location? Oh, where do you want to go now? Oh, does that smell so good? Oh, does that smell so good? Well, come here. Oh, am I your mommy? He really likes catnip too. It's his birthday, so I'm gonna spoil him. So, where were we? We were gonna pick a new filming location, but then we decided that he would be just fine up here. We'll see. We might change again. So we got the medicine, and we had him in the same small room that we had Sterling in. And at first, I was so scared that I wasn't going to be able to socialize him, and that he wasn't going to make it. And at first, I didn't even take any pictures of him for a little while because I was just so scared, and I like cats so much. I didn't know how I was going to be able to handle it if he didn't make it. So he's purring now. Good boy. Do you want this too? Here. You want your birthday cake back? Now that we got the catnip. Oh. So for the first little bit, I wasn't taking pictures. I might have some old video footage of when I decided he was gonna make it. So that's not the first days that we had him, but it's still when he was in the socializing room. So I'll try to edit some of that in here if I have some of that. Hey. And he was actually easier to socialize than Sterling was. He came around quicker. His favorite thing is food. So that's what we use to socialize Jupiter. Whereas with Sterling, oh, do you want to say hi? Oh, do you want more catnip? Oh my goodness. Oh, say hi to your fans. Oh, what a good boy. I'd like you guys to know that he owns you now. He just marked you, so now you belong to Jupiter. He's asking for more. I mean, it's his birthday, so here. Oh. we socialized him using food, like we did with well, not like we used to play with Sterling. We used food too. He can't get enough of it. Ridiculous. And we put, do me too? Look at me. The cameraman doesn't look at me too. We put old clothes that we'd worn the day in with him so that he would get used to how he smelled. Just like we did with Sterling. With Jupiter, I actually would go in and I would sit, there's a stand-up shower in that room that we socialize them in. And I would go and I would sit in the stand-up shower and he would sit across from me behind the toilet, scared of me because he was like, "What is this? What are you?" So I would just sit there and I would sing to him real softly, and he started coming to me when I was singing, and then he would lay in my lap while I was singing and start purring. I really like that. And he, to this day, likes me to sing to him. Now we want to do in the table. So to this day, he still likes when I sing to him, which is something that's really special to me since I really enjoy singing. Yeah. It's just really cool that another living thing likes my singing as much as he does. Like he'll legitimately ask for it. He, in our old apartment, would come out and meow at me and then walk to the shower and have me follow him in because he wanted me to sing to him in the shower, because that's where I sang to him before, is sitting in the bottom of that stand-up shower with him in my lap. And whenever he would get nervous, like if we had new people in the house that he didn't know, which makes him very nervous, he would do that, and it's so cool to have a cat asking you to sing to them. Like, I know you mean it, because it's not like it's a person saying, "Hey, that's pretty good." It's a cat asking me, "Hey, sing to me." So I know he's not lying or just being kind or whatever. So that's, trying to think of what else. He was easier to socialize than Sterling was. What are you doing, buddy? What are you doing? I want to say we probably had him in there for just as long though, because he was sick and we couldn't allow him to come out. You want your cake? That amp yours? Because we couldn't let him out because he was sick, because we couldn't get Melody sick. You know, he had fleas and worms and the whole nine. I mean, of course, he was living under a rock, which I have a picture of that rock that I could probably edit into this video to show you guys what I'm talking about. These rocks underneath the drainage pipe where, for some reason, the feral cats decide to have their babies. Drives me insane. So, Melody was not into him when we started introducing them. She, I think at first thought she was probably going to eat him. But we kind of slowly introduced them to each other to try to, you know, ease them into that relationship there. And a lot of the tricks that we also learned in socializing these cats, I learned from Jackson Galaxy. If you guys have cat behavior problems, I definitely recommend to look up his channel, because there's some really good general tips that are just really good ones. very, very helpful. He's an awesome guy. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Say hello to everybody. Say hello to your fans. Say hello. Oh, he owns you guys. Oh, he owns you. Well, I guess you guys have to subscribe because he just marked you. So, and I have a couple of pictures of he and Melody that I can put in here too. What did you find on the floor? He also has pica and will eat random things off the floor, and it makes me insane. I diagnosed him with pica. It's not a legitimate diagnosis. I just say he has pica because he's always trying to eat everything. Are you always trying to eat everything? Yeah. Yeah. So, I have a couple of pictures of he and Melody that I can put in here. She still likes her alone time, and she's the one that has the behavior problems, not the feral ones. She doesn't really have behavior problems. She's just kind of a princess and acts like a princess and has an attitude. But she accepted him, and even though she gets really annoyed when he gets in her way and wants to be around her too frequently, she loves him, and like if we have to take him to the vet or something, she's upset when he's not here. So, I know she loves him, which is good. They all love each other. But really what I found out after having this cat that made the most terrifying noises that I've ever heard until I met Sterling. I wish I would have filmed that. I wish I would have filmed getting this one. Couldn't have filmed Sterling because it was a crisis situation. But I wish I would have filmed capturing this one. For those noises. I wish I would have filmed taking Sterling to the emergency vet too, though. Because he was so... They literally thought we were... crazy. He was so just going... He would scat and slap his paw at the same time, so it was scarier sounding. It was so crazy. I wish I would have got that. But really what I learned from all of this is that this tiny, malnourished little kitten that I really don't think he would have survived if we wouldn't have taken him. It's not really that he needed me, maybe, I guess, since he wouldn't, but I needed him. This cat, it's incredible. He cries when I cry, and he likes my singing, and he comes up and he cuddles me. Of course, not right now I'm filming, but I think I have other videos of him like petting my face and stuff anyway. This cat really loves me back like no other cat that I've ever known. So it's pretty amazing to come from being feral to being so loving. Rennie and I say that we over-socialized this cat. And I do think that we over-socialized him. I don't know. He's not really a cat. He's like a half person, half cat. He's just such a nice cat. I mean, he's so nice that if we pet one of the other cats, he starts purring because he loves them and he's happy that they're being pet. So it's, oh my gosh, just absolutely ridiculously precious. And he also has, it's so cute, he has an underbite too, which the vet said is not common. So I wonder if it has to do with being feral. We actually think that Sterling is his nephew. I think that Jupiter's sister who was doing fine out there. She wasn't sick or malnourished or
dumb enough to come out of the rocks. I mean, he was so hungry, that's how we were able to capture this one. So we didn't even really notice, I call her Mercury. He didn't really even notice Mercury until she started getting bigger and coming out and around. We think that Mercury is Sterling's mother, so it's kind of interesting. And those two love each other, like, a lot. And I think they know. Like, maybe there's a smell, and it smells familiar to them. So, yeah. I don't know. Maybe that's it. Maybe I forgot, like, half of the stuff. But that's the story of Socializing Jupiter. My precious little baby. And it's his birthday, so happy birthday, Jupiter. Happy birthday.